Right. Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Muggle Yarns. It's December 4th, which means we have some administrati to take care of today. But before we get to that, I'm Kate, also known as Misanthropy Knits on Ravelry and Instagram.
And I'm Becca, also known as RBF42 on Ravelry and Instagram.
And then you can find us as Muggle Yarns on every other social media outlet out there in the world ever. Whether we actually post to them.
Yeah. They're all linked from MuggleYarns.com.
All right. So it's been a couple of weeks. We actually did intend to record last week. On Thanksgiving Day. Becca and I are both in the United States. I know not all our listeners are, but we had intended to record anyway, but then life happened, as it has a tendency to do.
Laryngitis.
Yeah, so having one of us with no voice, it wasn't really feasible. And then with the holiday and everything, neither of us really were very good about putting it out there that we weren't going to have an episode last week. So really do apologize for that. I totally slacked on that. So.
Yeah, but we appreciate that you're still here.
Yes,
we're sorry. Hopefully you saw our Facebook message.
I think that's the only place it went, so it's totally on my bad that I never posted it in our Ravelry group or on Instagram or anything, so I'm sorry, guys. But we're back this week. Both of us are still kind of froggy.
Yes.
Becca's recovering, and I'm starting to feel a little so pardon our raspiness.
This is my best voice in a week and a half, so feel honored that I'm speaking. I go in every day to work and they're like, "Can you speak yet?" No, I can't. I can't speak yet. But we're back.
Which means, since it is the first podcast in December, that we have a drawing or a giveaway to announce. So we had a total of 9 people enter the contest. So congratulations, you all win.
You all get a pattern.
You get a pattern, and you get a pattern, and you get a pattern.
You get a pattern, and you get a pattern.
So I'll be sending those out tonight. Everybody should see those in your Ravelry, because I think everyone who entered on Instagram has the same name on Ravelry. If not, I will direct message you on Instagram and try to figure it out so we can get that to you. So congratulations, you all win.
Yay. Okay.
So that's
moving
our very first giveaway. It's a milestone.
The first of many to come.
Absolutely.
Hopefully.
Okay. So it's been a couple of weeks. We've had extra time to finish things. So what have you finished, Becca?
I have 3 projects finished.
Woo-woo.
I have Inara's hat that I was working on 2 weeks ago. It's completely finished. I have Marie's owl that I still can't find my felt, so It doesn't have a beak, and I didn't look for it that hard today. And I have to sew on the eyes because they were completely wonky when I finally sewed it up, and they weren't low enough, so I cut them off, and I have to resew them. But it's stuffed, and it's really cute.
But the knitting is done, so it counts as finished.
The knitting is done. And it's stuffed, and it looks good, and it has this little tufty ears. I just have to sew on the eyes and the beak. And then my friend Ashantika, I finished her mitts, and I just need to finish the thumbs.
All right.
I kind of leave the thumbs and go on to the next project. But I really have to do it. Like, I sew it up and I weave everything in, and then I just kind of leave the thumbs. So, I have to finish those. But I'm almost done. I have 3 projects left, something like that.
That's awesome.
Yay.
Yay.
But that's later. More later. What about you? What have you done?
Well, I finished the shawl that I was test knitting that I still can't show you, so sorry. But I honestly, I thought I was going to be done with this by the time we recorded. This is my blue whale that I've been talking about for a while. I've been binding off for like 3 days because I haven't had any knitting time. So I really did think I was going to be done, but I'm not yet. So it's not in the finished object section yet. Although by the time I edit it tomorrow, hopefully it'll be blocking, so I can put in photos.
So it's technically...
I don't know, it's in a weird time loop. It might be finished by the time we post the podcast.
Let's hope.
I really do hope so, because I am, as pretty as this yarn is and as, as nice as the pattern was, like, I'm done. I'm ready for it to be done. I've been binding off for 3 days. I'm done.
Well, that was like with my wedding veil. It was so big that it took me like days to bind it off. And I was so worried that I was screwing it up, and it was, since it was so early, I didn't know that you were supposed to bind off kind of loose.
Yeah.
So it's like this big veil, and then it's kind of tight on the ends, and no amount of blocking has like really fixed it, but it's okay. I've only worn it a couple times.
Which makes sense, because it's your wedding veil.
Yeah. Yeah. So what about, okay, so your works in progress. What is freebies?
Freebies is my sister's socks. I did actually cast them on and started knitting them, so they are now in the actual works in progress designation.
Yeah.
So I've got some toes. I had to modify the chart for the pattern. It's a free pattern, so I took the stitch motif and kind of changed it a little bit to fit my stitch counts for my feet. So
Gotcha.
It's slightly modified, but I used the David's Toe-Up Sock Cookbook to do a swatch and calculate for my sister's shoe size how big the sock should be. So I just adjusted the chart to fit. Anyway, so I've got on my project page, I actually have the chart. We are a little, I keep going in circles. But on the project page, I posted a photo of the chart, so if you ever need to make that pattern with that stitch count increment, you can use that.
Cool.
So that's really the only thing that I'm working on right now. Although as soon as I finish this bind off for this thing that I'm considering finished, I'm gonna cast on many things probably.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Oh. So I actually just looked, and I have 3 more projects, including your gloves.
Yay!
But I'm going in order. So I have, I'm about to cast on a pair of burgundy mitts, same pattern as everybody else.
Everybody picked the same pattern.
Everybody picked the same pattern. But that's okay. It's actually a really nice pattern, and it's so interesting to see how it works up with all the different yarns, because I'm using Vanna's Choice, and I'm using, normal Lion Brand and Knit Picks, and it's just so weird how it's knitting up. Like this last one that I just finished are a lot more like durable and sturdy, and I think it's a similar yarn that I'm going to use for yours. And they're perfect because she actually lives where it snows.
Nice.
So, But this next pair is going to be Knit Picks Brava, I think. So I'm excited about that. That's really my only one that I have because, well, I'm not allowed to do anything until my Kickstarters are done.
I hear that. Well, ImagiKnitting. So I've been overpacking on my knitting projects just in case, because you never know. So on my last trip, I took my Bright Light socks with me, which aren't really socks yet. They're just, it's needles and a ball of yarn in a bag. So that's probably what I'll cast on next. And then I also have one more commissioned item to go with this set that's for that girl in Massachusetts. So it's the Dustland Mitts by Stephen West. And I have those coming up. So I'll be probably casting those on pretty soon too. So I can knock those out and send these to the customer.
Yay!
Yeah, it's a good feeling. It was a pretty big undertaking when she requested 3 items.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome, and they were all Stephen West, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cool.
What about you? What do you have planned?
Let's see. I have a pair of gloves for Diane, a hat for Carrie, gloves for Kate, and shipping. I have to ship everything.
That's a big project.
I actually have to. It is. They're all packaged, and this time I will take a picture of the packages. They're all packaged, but I gotta actually block them. We don't have really a lot of flat space in our house, so I haven't washed them and blocked them just because there's so much that I have to do. But I have to block and then print shipping labels and all that fun stuff. So, I mean, it's a big project. I had 12 projects total that have to go out. So
it's got to be a good feeling, though.
It is. It's a really, really good feeling, and I'm so excited. I see the end, and it's almost here. It's almost done. So, yay!
That's awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Well, I can't believe that it's already December. I still have a lot of Christmas projects. I still have...
I'm not even thinking about Christmas.
I had planned to make my dad a hat and mitts set, because he hunts a lot in the fall and winter. Mm-hmm. So he's outside, and I have this yarn that's red and blue, and so it's Jayhawk colors, and he's huge Kansas Jayhawks fan.
Rock Jayhawk.
Yeah.
Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
Rock Chalk Jayhawk. And
my friend Abby is a huge Jayhawks fan.
Yeah. So I have that set to make still, and that's in fingering weight yarn, because that's all I have basically in my stash is all fingering weight yarn, which is really kind of coming back to bite me this year as I'm trying to knit from stash for my Christmas presents. I have a pair of socks for my father-in-law, who is a big math and science nerd, so I was going to make him DNA socks with a double helix pattern on them. Even though he doesn't really do anything bio related, he'd still appreciate the whole motif. And then I still have to weave a scarf for my mom, and knit a cowl for my mother-in-law, and knit a cowl for my sister-in-law. It's oh my god, I still have so much to do. Plus, the socks that I've been talking about for my sister and my stepmom.
The cowl that I did, it knits so quickly, and it's amazing.
But I don't have any bulky in my stash.
So, buy more.
But my goal is to knit
I'm an enabler.
My goal was to knit all my Christmas presents from stash.
So then hold 4 strands of worsted together, or 8 strands of fingering. You can do it.
You just, like, watch me over here with my Swift and my ball winder, like, I'm weighing them to make sure that I've got 8 even balls of yarn. Oh my gosh. I think it might be faster just to knit at the fingering weight.
Probably.
I have a list, like, I have a to-do list, task list thing in my Gmail that has all of these on it. I was like, don't know if this is going to happen. I'm not moving along as fast as I thought I would. Like, November just flew by, and I got nothing done.
I have no holiday knitting that I'm doing, and it's all Kickstarter. The dog is whining. She's gonna cry. She can wait till we have a break. Let's see.
So, stash enhancement.
Yeah.
So one of the things about not recording over the Thanksgiving week is that I didn't have an opportunity to talk about all the Black Friday shopping I planned to do. So now I get to talk about...
That was a thing.
That was a thing. Black Friday and Cyber Monday, that definitely happened. So I enhanced my stash from... actually, I just want to talk about the stuff that's already arrived so I can put the pictures in. So I enhanced my stash from Gourmet Stash. Kate out of, I want to say Frederick, Maryland, somewhere in Maryland. So that didn't have very far to travel, so that's already arrived. But she has some beautiful, beautiful fiber. She has a technique that she uses for her roving and like the braids and stuff, and that is called ice dyeing, where you put ice on the fiber and then you put the dye on, so every braid of fiber is unique. So I bought a couple of those, and then she also does a lot of bats and poonies, and she calls them tribbles. They're like, she blends the fiber and then winds them into tiny little balls, and so she calls them tribbles, which I think is adorable. Yeah. So I've gotten tribbles from her before, but this time she had just like leftover stuff, like leftover blending fiber that she kind of puts together, and you blend it into a kind of a mishmash, so I bought some of that too, some of the leftover stuff. So those arrived. I also bought some stuff from 716 Knit, indie dyer out of Buffalo, New York. She also has the Knit Buffalo yarn truck, so if you live in that area, you should definitely check it out, because
that's awesome.
Yarn trucks are so cool.
There's the one in California that I would love.
It's an amazing concept. So cool.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, all of her yarns that are normally in stock, not like any of their special runs or anything, but her normal in-stock yarns are all inspired by Buffy the Vampire Slayer quotes. So I have quite the extensive 716 Knit stash, as you might expect from someone whose gateway nerddom was Buffy. So yep. I have a lot. And I got 3 more skeins on Black Friday. So those arrived. I'll talk about other stuff.
I have none.
When it comes.
I was very good. Very, very good. We got nothing.
I had someone buy a few skeins from my stash, which may have enabled me, like from my D-stash page.
To replace them?
Yeah, may have enabled me to think, oh, well now I have this money in my PayPal account. Perhaps I should spend it. Yeah. I'm not always the most responsible person. Especially when a sale is involved.
Since you're traveling all the time. I think it's more, especially now that yarn is involved.
Yeah.
Or when yarn is involved, you're not responsible.
Yeah. Well, if there's a yarn sale involved, I'm probably not being very responsible.
Probably. Yeah. We were actually really quite good. We looked at all the sales and all the websites and all the ads, and we're kind of like, what are we going to buy? We don't need a new TV. We don't need a new computer. We don't need a new this. And we don't have anybody to buy for. So, you see her face popping over here?
Yes.
The only way I can make her stop is by picking her up.
Oh.
She's standing on my leg at the moment. But, I mean, we didn't buy anything, which includes no yarn.
I know. It's funny when you talk to people about, like, oh, did you get any good deals on Black Friday, or do you have any good plans for Cyber Monday? And they're, like, talking about all these gifts they're going to buy, and I'm like, I bought myself some yarn. Yep. This gal. What's a gift? None of my people are getting their stuff on time. I just ran through my list. You're all getting IOUs this year.
When's your birthday? You'll get it then.
Yeah.
Double gift.
Sorry, Hayes. Don't really know what I was thinking.
So, TV. What you watching?
Well,
I know what you're watching.
I binge watched season 1 of S.H.I.E.L.D. because it came onto Netflix. And then
I love that show.
Mildly obsessed now. And then I watched what there is of season 2. So I think I'm all caught up. Hulu doesn't have any new episodes for me as of the last time I checked. So I am really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it.
I am actually not. I'm not caught up, but I read spoilers. So, like, somebody posted, did you see it in 50 Shades of Geek? Somebody was asking who Skye was.
Yeah. I didn't see that, no.
Oh. Well, I mean, you know she's got to be some big, important character because this whole entire season is about her.
Yes.
And I don't know who it is because I don't really know characters. But I'm not caught up, and I believe the last episode I saw, like, her and Coulson went to the warehouse, and they were like, there was an iPad or something, like they were being watched. I think there's one or two after that.
Okay.
I love that show. I love it.
Yeah, I've definitely been enjoying that. I can't believe it took me this long to watch it because I'm such a Joss Whedon fan, but it coming onto Netflix was kind of the catalyst for me to, like, start watching it.
Well, what's so interesting about that show is they actually, when the movies are released, like,
they make plot lines.
Actually work it into the show.
Right.
And I heard that they're going to do that with Age of Ultron also.
Nice.
So I'm, like, super excited.
It's very cool.
I love that show. I'm freezing right now.
And then I've also been kind of trying to find something to watch on Netflix, like, in my hotel room when I don't really have a lot going on or don't really want to, like, focus on anything too much, and I've had my day, and I just need something light and fluffy and fun to watch. S.H.I.E.L.D. is perfect for that.
Yeah.
But I've been going back and forth between a few different shows. Like, I've been watching the Clone Wars cartoon, Star Wars Clone Wars, because they're, like, half hour long. But I find I miss a lot of stuff because the episodes are only a half hour. And it's very easy for me to kind of tune it out, and then it's, like, over, and I don't know what happened.
I'm the same way.
So I
because I watch a lot. I keep TV on in the background.
Yeah.
And I miss so much, and I'll be sitting here working on my computer, and Steve's like, oh, did you see that? I'm like, no. He's like, you're sitting right here. You miss everything. Like,
yeah, you kind of have to, like, train yourself that when there's no dialogue, that's when you need to be paying attention to the screen because something is happening that you need to watch.
Right. Exactly.
But, I also decided I was going to give Haven a try because I've seen a couple of people post, like, why have I never watched this show? So I watched the pilot, and I'm going to give it a couple more episodes and see if that's something I can get into. Because that's a little more boilerplate, like what I like, you know, a little sci-fi, a little, like, paranormal.
I'm trying to think of which one that is. Is it one that's current, or it's no longer on? Like,
I don't know. It's on Netflix. And I don't even know how many seasons are on Netflix. Honestly, I just watched the first episode. But it starts with this FBI agent who grew up as an orphan, so she doesn't know who her family is, and she goes to investigate the disappearance of a fugitive in the town of Haven and encounters some really weird paranormal people, and they kind of foreshadow a story arc with her and, like, something to do with her family. You don't really know what it is, but there's a photograph in the newspaper archive of someone who looks exactly like her. So you know that there's something that involves her personally. So.
Right.
So the episode ends up with her, like, she never takes any vacation time, so now she's going to take all of her vacation time and stay and investigate her story.
Right.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I left off. But it's got kind of a Warehouse 13, like, solving a mystery kind of feel. I was just gonna ask, you watched Warehouse 13. Right.
You know, the new show, The Librarians, with Christian Kane. It hasn't started yet, but it's supposed to start soon. Every time I see a commercial for it, I think, oh, this is like the new Warehouse 13.
Nice. Because
Noah Wyle has been in 3 movies. Have you seen them?
Mm-mm.
Well, it's now a show. It's kind of like he's the librarian, kind of like Indiana Jones was the professor.
Okay.
And he goes and he solves mysteries. So Noah Wyle solves mysteries, and he has, like, a ghost who, like, he's a hologram, and, like, he goes around and it's 3 movies. And, I mean, they're like cheese. They're completely cheesy.
So
but
probably
they're spinning
right
it off. Exactly. But it's kind of like the new show. So for his movies, he was the only librarian that you ever saw, but you knew there were others.
Okay.
So it's kind of like he worked. Right. So I think his is like in the Smithsonian or something, like somewhere near there. So the show, I think it's like 4 or 5, something like that, librarians. And I haven't figured out how they're going to interact with one another, but Christian Kane is one of them, and I'm super excited.
Nice.
I love him in Leverage. I'm so excited. Like, I don't know who the other ones are. Whatever. I know Noah Wyle is in it, and Christian Kane is in it. That's all I know.
All right.
That's all that matters. But every time I see it,
awesome.
I'm like, totally, that's going to be my new Warehouse 13.
Yeah. Sounds awesome. What else are you watching?
So Steve has been talking about this show called Silicon Valley forever, and we finally found it on demand. It's an HBO show. There's only 1 season, and it was like 8 episodes, but it's basically Silicon Valley, like
a drama kind of
what
thing?
It originally was.
Or a miniseries, like documentary.
Cheesy. I think it's kind of just like cheese.
But is it like a fiction, like, plot kind of thing, or is it like a documentary thing?
So it follows this group of guys that all live in this house, and they're all working on, like, apps, and they work for Hooli, which is obviously supposed to be Google. And this guy has this great app, and he gets, like, the owner of Hooli offers him, like, $10 million, and then this other guy offers him X number of dollars, you know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole show, like, all the other guys, they stop working on their projects, and they start working on his, and at the end, they go to, like, TechCrunch something, and it's really good. Like, it's addictive.
Yeah.
But we watched the whole first season, and I'm like, where's the rest of it?
Right? Don't you hate when that happens? It's like Veronica Mars all over again. Like, where's season 4? It just ends.
I know.
Did you ever watch the show on AMC called *Halt and Catch Fire*?
Mm-mm.
You'd probably like it. It's it takes place in the 80s, and it's about this this guy who leaves IBM and, like, headhunts a couple of like a hardware guy and a software developer girl, and then, like, kind of finagles his way into this established computer company, and kind of the whole season is their progression to making a new PC. Because, you know, it's like the 1980s, like, nothing has happened, really. And it's really good. Like, it's pretty intense. There's some very adult themes, but it's a great show. Like, I can't wait for season 2. It's going to be awesome. But it's like, it takes place in the 80s, so, like, there's also that whole cheese factor of it being the 80s.
Of course. Well, this one is like modern times,
mm-hmm.
and the opening scene, it's just kind of like a cartoon. Okay, so first of all, Mike Judge, who I think he's the one that did The Simpsons.
Mm.
I think. Anyway, he's the one that created it.
Okay.
So it's already going to be cheesy, but the opening, it's kind of like, it's a cartoon, and it shows you, like, it pans through Silicon Valley, and like a balloon pops open with the Napster logo, and then it deflates, and then, like, you see, like, all the different logos, like Bing and Apple, and, like, you see all of the logos, and then it just, like, so I mean, it's interesting because it's the current stuff.
Yeah, that is cool.
And it has all the outdated software, like, they all have, like, their little part of it. The stuff that's, like, long gone.
That's funny. I'll have to look it up.
I need the second season. Well, we've been talking about it for a while, and he finally found it.
You said it's an HBO show?
Because apparently, yeah, but apparently there's, like, several different shows that are of, like, a similar name.
Oh.
But this one's about, like, this one is, like, about apps, and it's just, like, a bunch of goofy guys.
Well, I think a lot of the HBO shows are on Amazon Prime now. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can get the shows that have been canceled. I think a lot of them have been uploaded. So we have that. I might check it out, see if it's on there.
Cool.
Especially if it's only 8 episodes. Like, I'll gobble that right up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So...
I don't know. I still watch Shark Tank all the time, but
mm-hmm.
it's more of an obsession than, like, there's obviously no story to it.
No plot.
They're all unique and individual.
Have you seen any good products lately? Anything you need?
Steve saw one yesterday that teaches cats how to pee in the toilet.
Oh my god. Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay.
The girl apparently comes out and she's like, if you own a cat, you know how hard it is to keep their litter box clean, as I'm in there panning for gold, as we call it.
It's not hard. It's kind of gross, but it's not hard.
It's really gross because the room, like, we keep his litter in the second bathroom. There's no ventilation in there whatsoever. So I'm in there, like, dying. Every time I come out there, I'm, like, dripping in sweat, and I'm just like, I can't breathe.
Ew.
He's like, oh, you need this product.
I think
There's
Phoenix
been a couple,
would just pee all around the toilet just to spite you.
He'd probably break the toilet seat, actually. Because what it is, he explained it to me, like, it's like a bowl that sits inside the toilet bowl. Kind of like when you potty train a child.
So you're going to convince a cat to use that? I don't think so.
Exactly.
Have you ever met a cat? Like, that's not going to happen.
I don't think
finished.
he could jump up there. Yay! Hooray!
Finally.
I don't think that he could actually jump up onto the toilet and balance himself. So...
Oh, he's a big kid.
He is, but he's funny. But, yeah. I don't know. Like, we were watching it earlier, and Jeff Foxworthy was one of the guest judges.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
What is he doing on there?
He's got money.
But, yeah, I know. Okay, so...
Oh, man.
So, real life, what's going on?
Well, I started a new job. Started a new job this week. So this week was all training, and I was away from home, so it was kind of like a little preview of what the rest of my stuff is going to be like. So what I'm going to end up doing is traveling around to different Marriott hotels around the country and implementing their computer systems that they use in like their bars and restaurants and retail and stuff. So I work for a contracting company that has a contract with the software company. Well, hardware company. They're both hardware and software. And so, yeah, I'm just going to be going around training, installing hardware, troubleshooting, building databases, which I'm so excited about. Because I don't know if you guys know, but I really like databases in Excel, and I love programming and stuff like that. And anyway, so that's going to be awesome. And initially we thought, okay, so we're going to have a week of training, and then we're going to have like 3 weeks of doing some programming stuff and getting familiar with the database stuff. And starting in January, we'd start traveling. Then we find out on Tuesday that, oh no, you're starting traveling right away. And by right away, I mean this week. So I just got home tonight from my training thing, and then I'm leaving day after tomorrow for my first assignment in Atlanta. So we will be home. I think they don't really have anything going on over like Christmas to New Year's, so we'll be home for a couple of weeks then, but till then we're traveling. So
well, and it's a good thing that you had your training cut short, because we actually tried recording last night, and it was kind of spotty and kept dropping, and this way you can actually test drive it, and we learned that her laptop doesn't have the greatest camera, so it's good that she was home to fix that.
Gonna need to take my plug and play along with me on the road. So, yeah. So you'll see me in different locations coming up soon, hopefully. It's kind of exciting.
No more pretty yarn behind you.
A pretty hotel room backgrounds behind me.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. So anyway, it's really exciting. I'm super, super pumped about this. It's gonna be good.
Yay! I'm so excited for you. So you're going to Atlanta. So if you're in Atlanta, leave us a comment somewhere. Let us know.
Yep, I haven't made any.
Find you.
I haven't made any firm plans yet, but I do. I think I'm gonna try to hit up Eat Sleep Knit while I'm there. I feel like it's kind of a landmark. I don't know if I'll buy anything since I did kind of just splurge last weekend, but I want to go and look and, Instagram it.
You'll buy something.
I mean, okay, yeah, probably.
You'll buy something.
And then I know a couple of people already on Ravelry that live in the Atlanta area, so I kind of have reached out to them. But anyway, if I'm planning on being out and about, I'll totally post about it. So don't be afraid to come and meet me. I mean, that's obviously I'm the kind of person that just goes to a new place and like dives in with a bunch of new people. So I'm not mean and scary. Just go say hi. You know what I look like. I'll be the one with the knitting needles.
I was gonna say, look for the girl with the knitting.
Yeah. So hopefully I'll make it down to Miami.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yes. We have lots of Marriotts here. Some of those letters, they come out and they just don't come out at all.
Speaking of which.
Here. Yes. So, yes. I've had lovely laryngitis. I don't know what happened. Like, whenever I tell people, yeah, I have laryngitis, they're like, oh, you must have had a great weekend. I'm like, no. I did nothing. I woke up and I had a super sore throat. And then I woke up the next day and I couldn't talk at all. And it was really pissing me off. I drank, in a week, an entire carton of hot tea. I went through an entire bottle of honey. And I used my tea bags twice. So that was like 2 tea cartons. I've never drank so much tea in my life.
God.
It was really good. But, I mean, I'm just so tired. Like, I'm just exhausted. And I had like a stuffy head, which you can kind of hear. But it's mostly just no voice. And I go to work and they're like, what's wrong with you? Why are you so rude? Why aren't you talking?
Excuse me.
Like, yeah, I have no voice. For the first couple of days, like, people would be like, hey, how are you? And I'm like, I can't talk. But for the first time, I'm doing a lot better, but there's still some squeaks.
Yeah.
It's been almost 2 weeks. I mean, I don't know how long it's going to last.
Yeah.
But, yeah. But in those 2 weeks, since we were here last, it's actually kind of funny because, it went off. I lost my voice, we recorded, and then that was it.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So, it was kind of good timing. But I paid off 3 credit cards in those 2 weeks.
See, that's what happens when you're actually responsible and don't buy yarn all the time, like me. It's really awesome, Becca. That's huge.
I'm not really responsible. Like, my husband is just definitely helping because we want to buy a house. Mm-hmm. And, we want to move and we want to adopt and all that stuff, honey. And mm-hmm. I got to get rid of all these bills that are hanging over my head, and they have been. She's making noises back there, and it scares me. So, yeah, I got
Congratulations, that's huge. It's huge.
Lots more to go. Mm. It was the 3 smallest. So, but, yeah. I'm not going to talk about that other thing.
Okay. That's awesome. Well, I'm not there yet. Working on it. We're working on it.
Let's hope that you never get to the laryngitis stage.
No. Yeah, I did wake up, not yesterday, but yesterday. Not today. Yesterday, I woke up and had, it was really weird because I, was sleeping on my side, so the side that was on top was bone dry, and it hurt so bad. And I think it was just because of the hotel room being dry. So I bought a little travel humidifier to take with me, but I feel better today.
Arrive?
It'll come tomorrow. So,
well, you're back in your normal house, and you know this air conditioning and heat, I suppose.
Heat.
We still have the AC running, and I'm sitting here freezing.
I have my little heater going in the corner because this room is so poorly insulated, which is ironic because all the walls are covered in yarn. But there's a window right there, and that window is very cold. So.
Well, that's okay. We have, it's kind of funny, like, so I work in this big, huge, beautiful, modern, brand new building on South Beach, and you'd think that they knew how to, like, run the air conditioning so that it wasn't freezing or hot or whatever, and every single person in their office has a space heater because it gets so cold in there. I'm sitting in my office. I share it with 2 other people. I'm sitting in my office yesterday, so cold, I had to close the door and turn the heater on. They came back and they were like, why is it so hot in here? I'm like, I was freezing, don't worry.
It's cold, shut up.
One of the girls was like, well, if you ever get cold, just turn on the heater. It's like a really big one, too. I'm like, okay. So I did. I had it on yesterday for like 20 minutes. It was
I have mine set to a temperature. You know, you can like choose in increments, and so it'll turn off automatically, but it kicks on pretty frequently. I'm sure you guys have heard it come on a couple of times while we've recorded tonight.
I've heard it.
Yeah. Cold in here. Oh, man.
Our AC, every time it kicks on, it's like the vent is right there, and it blows on me, and I'm just like, ugh, freezing.
Which I'm sure isn't helping you being sick.
No, it's not.
I know we had a lot to talk about since it was 2 weeks since we last spoke, but I think between the 2 of us, we're just going to devolve into a coughing fit. So.
I'm trying so hard to not cough so much. Not working. At all.
So, come on over to the group. Introduce yourself. That thread is always open. We will probably have another giveaway starting up here pretty soon. I did find another little prompt like what we had for the doctor that's Harry Potter related that I really liked. So Becca and I will discuss that and probably next week announce a new giveaway. So come check us out, Muggle Yarns on Ravelry. You saw it?
I saw a pretty funny one. Yeah. I saw a really good one.
Yeah. So we'll do something soon. But yeah, hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, in the Ravelry groups.
Twitter.
I'm pretty much always on Ravelry, so that's probably the best way if you want us to actually like respond to you.
I know, right?
Since Instagram is on your phone, it's just my account, you know. So I'm not very good about getting on the Muggle Yarns account.
Me neither.
Facebook, I'm on Facebook a lot.
Log out. I'm always on Facebook and Ravelry.
Yeah.
Those are my 2.
And then the website, of course. Anytime you want to leave a comment, if you're watching us on the website, which we really appreciate, feel free to leave a comment because we do monitor those as well. So, but for this week, we're going to go ahead and I think say goodbye. And also cough.